officially call the meeting to order at 7:03.
House.
Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Yes, you just want to say something, Maureen?
Am I muted? No.
No, you're not.
Okay, because I'll mute when these guys start to bark.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
There's, there's, yeah.
They they want to be part of the call, or I think so. Anyhow, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for May 4th?
I move to approve the minutes from May 4th.
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Any all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Okay, that was easy. Any communication or announcements anyone would like to add to this evening's conversation? No? Okay.
No.
Then we'll move on to exciting old business. And first on the agenda is our continuing discussion of Ashford Volunteer Recognition Program. As you're probably aware, it did not get into the June issue. I did talk with our first selectwoman. She indicated that she'd been away out of state for a week or so, so she apologized that didn't really get a chance to review it. But she looked at it and she was appreciative of all the efforts you guys have done. Thought it all looked great. She was going to actually have the Board of Selectmen review it this evening and then get it into the, if everything's good, obviously, to put it into the July issue, which I guess would be kind of appropriate. I mean, it's July the 250th, starting this off may be kind of appropriate. So, but she said it looked good and appreciated the fact that we revised it, nor is your idea of kind of make it a little more, I'll say, more straightforward in the sense we just kind of identify the purpose and, a little bit about each board and commission, not necessarily identifying or focusing on one individual to highlight at this point. So it kind of keeps it that kind of little bit of, if there was going to be any controversy, that out of it. So, anyhow, she appreciated that, and like she said, she liked the way it's set up and thought they looked good. So I guess that gives us kind of the green light to kind of continue on this, start producing these next issues as we go along. We have the first two kind of set in place, but I think obviously no time but the present to continue on the effort. So I'm not sure where you ladies are with the work, hard work you've been doing to kind of pull these things together, but
I was assigned the finance committee, and Nora, I will do that this week. I am behind, but I definitely will do that this week and get it to you.
Yeah, I've been working on invasive plants with Joe, so I haven't been to town hall, but I should be. I think I'm going to go maybe on Wednesday morning, maybe tomorrow. I forget what's on the schedule, but just to get some more of that under my belt. My concern, it's not urgent yet. The second board, I didn't pull this stuff up. I think it's aging, actually. I went to the website to get the same information for it that I got for the Board of Assessment Appeals. And there's really nothing on the website, the town website, that describes the purpose.
If you look, I did find that information on the statutes. So if you look, I did send out that second one. I kind of filled in that blank that you're talking about.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So if you look at your email, I did send everybody a copy of that. So I put it.
Is
I
it
did find
a different email from the one with the agenda?
Yeah, it would have been. I sent it when I sent the information out to Catherine back in May. I think it was May 6th. If you check your May 6th emails, I CC'd all of you on what I sent to her, and that I sent the first one and then the revised second one. But I did go out onto the state statutes, and I found all the information that kind of supports those bullet points that that started with the first one.
Budget pass. Yeah.
If you click on that, the second Article 2, I think it is listed as, you'll see but I know what you're talking
Yeah, so
about.
I just
Yeah,
you figured out what I did there. I just
right,
put in red where we needed
right,
a little bit more information.
right.
Um,
Yeah, I think if there's
there.
sometimes if there's statutorily, there's other places where sometimes this information resides. It could be in,
Okay.
so
So
that's
this was
that's what all I did.
created. Sorry, you're saying that this group was created by a statute
I
or
believe so. I don't have it right in front of me, but I found it, and I just plugged all that information into it.
okay. All right, good. Um, when we're finished, I'll look at this and and learn.
So,
Okay.
so like I said, it looks like the first 2 months are covered. So we got, the Board of Appeals, Assessment Appeals, and then the Commission on Aging. So we
Right.
worked down the list.
Right.
So I mean,
I
we're
think
looking
we
at.
have I think we have the list for the third one also. I just haven't written this text, which
Yeah,
doesn't really take very long. But I can yeah, I think it would be nice to be 2 months ahead.
yeah,
Um, and actually when we finish these, I can't remember. I have to look this up while we're talking. When we get the list done, it shouldn't take much just to go ahead and write everything up right away. And, that'll be 18 months of articles ready to go, which
yeah,
isn't bad when you think about it. Though we will have to take a look as we go, as the committees, because they might be getting new members. So we have to add them as the time goes on. Let me,
I would still like to try to advance copy the list of names to, the current members of the board to see if they have any
of
feedback
each
on it.
board.
I did send something out on the first one, Assessment Board of Appeals, that I did send it out, I think, to Kay Warren, and I didn't hear back from her. And I thought I'd see her around town, which I didn't. So
Haven't.
um,
Yeah.
I didn't get any feedback. But I mean, I think, that you guys are doing a great job, and where you're going to look for information. And if we miss somebody, then I mean, there's always an opportunity to circle back and get those people recognized at a future date too. So.
All right. So we have the Board of Assessment Appeals, which is the first one. We have aging, we have agriculture, and we have conservation. And the next one is EDC. So we have all of those. We have education. So we've got whatever that is, one, two, three, four, that's six already, in a row that are completed. So I've got the Ashford Board of Ed and the Regional 19 Board of Ed. Here we go. So then finance is the one after that. So, but that's
Okay.
well into next year. Uh,
Okay.
and then fire department, we have nothing on the fire department actually. And I know that it's not technically a town board, um, but I do think that it's more like a town board than it is like the Boy Scouts, right? So I think that we should, my feeling is we should include that as one of the boards and commissions. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's an awful big one, as we're
Yeah.
aware, and it's they've been struggling for volunteers as well, and so yeah, I think anything we can do to again thank them and raise awareness for their cause is a good thing. So yes, I mean there may be others that we come across and think of too as well. So
I mean, a lot of town money goes to that. We're going to have a big tax increase because of that. So I think to me, that's why it's appropriate. Do you
yeah.
agree, Maureen, or do
I
you?
agree. Yes, definitely. We
Okay.
owe them.
Yeah. So I assume that we need to contact them to get a list of members. Um, let's say for the last 50 years, because some of the committees that we're doing have names back into the 70s. So, but I wouldn't want to go back into the 60s and the 50s. You know, I don't think those people are still around. Um, So does either one of you know somebody on the, you
Yeah, I
do?
know. I
Okay.
know the chief and his wife. So I
Okay.
can reach out to them.
Well, can you bring it up to him
Yeah,
and explain what we're doing and see if
yeah.
he can give us a list of people who have volunteered, um, let's say since 1976. That's 50 years. Unless
Yeah.
there's somebody, if there's somebody still living that volunteered before that that he knows of, we can include them. But I think that's probably far enough back.
Okay.
But
Um,
again, that's going to be sometime next year,
right.
like almost a year away. So there's no huge rush on it.
My only question for you, the two of you, is if there's some lists that are fairly small, would it be advantageous to try to, double up a couple in 1 month, for instance, or do we think,
Right, right, yeah.
that it's just appropriate to show them standing on their own and as a, kind of recognition of them rather than have, a couple of them so they each get their month, so to speak. What are your
Maybe we
thoughts
should
on that?
see what feedback we get once we start.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would I would tend to want to put a single board or commission each month. And we'll just let the editor of the Citizen figure out how to fit it the way she may want to do it.
And I did speak with Colleen this weekend, matter of fact, and let her know
Mhm.
what we were doing. I talked with her once before, a few months back, but I did tell her that it's in the works and likely to be in the July issue. So she was all fine with that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think this one is going to be kind of big because of the introduction, and it's got a fairly long list, but it's not, I don't think it's really atypical of the list that we have. But
Like I said, if those other lists, for instance, with like you probably can handle the between Joe and Loretta, the Conservation Commission, and I can take the EDC, kind of get those lists reviewed at least, kind of
you
if you
mean to
want.
run it by those
Yeah,
committees?
right. So if you feel you've got what you feel is your kind of final list, at least you could forward the EDC one to me, and I can
I can
take a look.
send it to you, yeah.
Right, and then
I mean, it didn't start until 2000. Well, no, here's somebody in 1999.
yeah, I think that's about when it.
1998. That looks like, but there's only one name. So, oh no, there's another one, Peter Rimkus. Yeah, okay, because they're in alphabetical order, so there are five. Ooh, a lot of people.
Yeah, there's enough people that are. I mean, that like we can contact that I know that know the people because they were on it from the get go. You know,
Yeah,
like
but what
I
it
know.
looks like here is that it was very popular um, early on, and then, well, I can't tell. Anyway, yes, I'll send
Yeah.
it to you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to I'll pull these over here and put
So
them
at
in
least we can. And what'd you say? What was the third one up coming up?
agriculture.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, obviously that one hasn't been around that long either.
Right. I
So
think, let me just check the
and we can
earliest,
art how much
2010. Yeah,
art would
2010.
probably be a good one to send that to. I can get that to art. You know art?
Say that again?
Do you know art? He was chair for a while. Art Talmadge.
Uh, no, I don't. I know I've been in touch with Nick, um, who owns,
Yeah, Bottle Farm.
yeah, sorry. I've been in touch with him because of the Facebook page. And Joe knows um, Nick and Doug, Jenny.
Jen, yeah,
Yeah, I can just email Doug Jenny and ask him to find somebody to check because
right,
Nick Weinstein's too much too recent to know
right.
any history.
Yeah, and Art was on it way back today, and I think made Danny Zaitchek as well. So I think there's some of the founding members of it.
There's Dan Zaitchek. I don't see Art. Oh, there, Talmadge.
Right.
Yeah, got him. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, from the very beginning. What do we have here? 9 people on the commission in 2010.
Yep.
So, okay.
So at least we could get there's 3 or 4 commissions where we can kind of knock them, know that we're good to go with the names at this point, and then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So if you could just forward to me that one list, and
Yeah.
at least I
I'm
can
going to sort them
verify that one.
I'm going to sort them by date. I think that'll be easier for you to kind of remember that way instead of alphabetical order. Is that true?
Either way.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this in an email right now.
Appreciate it. Any other thoughts you have, Maureen? Yeah, I could feel you.
Volunteer recognition.
Thank you for having that fire. I feel the warmth.
Oh, I felt awful starting it, but it was so cold in here. I thought I'm not turning the heat on. And it is nice.
Just talking about that. I just shut mine off like 4 days ago, and it's been that's why I'm wearing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Margaret Chady. I have to add Margaret Chady to this list. I don't know why she wouldn't have been on that.
EDC. Wow, she's on it. She's been on it for quite a while.
Yeah, but I just did a search and her name's not coming up, so that's kind of strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's why it's important for us to do what you want to do there. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste. So this is only 30 years, but not too bad.
Time flies when you're having fun.
No kidding.
Okay, so we're all set on that. Let's kind of continue on, and I think our next due date for stuff will technically be August 15th for the 3rd feature group, which would be agriculture. So we have to have them done by August 15th.
Well, I will, well, there's Luther. Maybe Luther would be, he's not on the commission anymore, but he might be good for remembering who was on it in the past. I think he may be involved before Doug, right?
Yeah, I think Art and Danny were probably, I believe, might have been founding members. And then Doug, I think Luther was on it for quite a while, and I think Doug's been on it.
Loretta was on it at the beginning too.
Right.
So you think I should send it to Dan Zaitchek?
Danny or Art, I think Art may have good insight, because I think Art was chairman for a while.
All right, I don't have his email address. I know Joe has Danny Zaitchek's. Should I send this to you and you can?
Sure.
Okay.
All
right, I'm going to take that out.
Okay. Then,
and that's good enough for now. We can go from there.
Right.
A little later.
And okay, any other thoughts on this item?
No.
Okay.
No, I just think it'll be good to get it going, see what happens, see if we have to make any changes before we do any adjustments or go any farther or create a new task for ourselves.
Yes. Discuss potential future projects. I mean, the only one I still think is out there potentially would be, what happens with the plan of conservation development, and how do we capture the rest of things that may not be no longer in the POCD. So like a strategic plan. So we'll just wait and see where that goes and what the first board of selectmen would like to do. I do know that they're in the process of hopefully this week advertising for Christine's replacement.
Oh, that's good.
So that they still have, there's still a little bit of a lot of stuff going on because it was the budget and everything else going on. So that's, once the dust settles a little bit, I think they'll be able to kind of chart a clearer path, I think. So fingers crossed on that. And I don't know, I haven't heard where the POCD is. I thought somebody said they thought it was with NECOG, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, but only through the grapevine. I'm not hearing it from Jeff.
Yeah, I may reach out to Jeff and see where it's at. Okay. So we just talked about the POC update. Don't really know, but I think it's in process. Any other project updates anybody has that they want to speak to?
Oh, yes, as a matter of fact. I've been hearing this and that about Family Day, which has turned out to be the center for a number of functions that are happening in Ashford. And one of them is a day that the Conservation Commission is setting up, and which is going to end up being on that day as well. But all of this is coordinated, and the reason I brought that up is because Joe is getting updates, and he said OTOF has a booth. Did you know that?
Oh my.
So I'm not sure why we have a booth, but that might be something you could find out. I suspect it might have come from Catherine, because I think our 250th celebration is also going to happen at Family
Yes.
Day. So I kind of think, and I think Catherine is corralling what's happening for the 250th. That's my understanding. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but Catherine may know why we have a booth, and I suspect it may be for the this volunteer program, but I don't know. I mean, I honestly have no other notion, unless it's just a general thing like here we are. But I don't know that every board and commission is going to have a booth. So anyway, I don't even know when.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I thought you'd like to know sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thanks. I'll circle
So that
back.
we can back out, I think, is the idea.
Yeah, no. Okay. Well, I mean, if we do have a booth, is there? I mean, first of all, do we want to have a booth? I guess that's the question. And if we did, what would we want to do, or should we do? You know, other than maybe seeking volunteers. I don't know.
We'll think about what we can put in. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Yes.
Okay. But I think it's good if I can just. I just had this thought. So last year we did the. I forget what we had. Was ours the community forum? Because there was a listening session and a community forum, whichever one, but we sponsored one of them, and I think it's good to keep our name out there, and so I do think it would be a good idea to have a booth, because I think that it may be a good recruiting tool.
Well, I think if we could get back to some purposeful kind of I'll call them roundtable meetings or community forums or whatever. But to me, the thing I hate about having those meetings is you have these meetings, people come with all this energy and these ideas, and they want things to happen, and then you have to have a vehicle for those things to get into and go someplace, either implementation or no or not, and then in the past that's what we were able to do, but lately we've kind of been in this circle of we had this, and so I think that is a great the greatest part of what this group can do. But I think it has to have, you don't want to waste people's time. I don't want to waste, I don't
Right.
want to waste our time either.
Have them come out and say the same thing and have
Right.
nothing happen again. And I think that's really a deadly thing
Yeah,
that can happen. So,
it's a formula for not having success.
yeah.
So yes, I that's why I keep on kind of going back in my engineering mind and saying, well, all these things that aren't going to be listed in the POCD, they got to have a home to create, energy moving forward, or somebody keeping tabs on them, or make sure that those are the things that the community wants to put its energy into. And I think that's would be our purpose to kind of get that list of, okay, what are the top, 5 or 10 things that the community feels are important, and who's going to work on them, and how do we get them to the next step. And in the past, we've been able to find some of those things, or, like I said, help kick off some things like a POCD and create some synergy. I think, I still think one of them that got cut off by COVID there, the last one we did in 2018 or 2019, right before COVID hit. That one, at least, we got some groups that had never met before, sort of like the Salvation Army and a few of the churches and schools talking, and they actually were able to have some other separate things that happened as a result of that. And I thought that was positive, but those are great, creating synergies, another purposeful outcome. But I think there's a lot of things on the list that we can do that are, I call the high easies, that they're of high importance and easy to implement, but we just have to get those out there and find people that want to volunteer to work on those things. So yeah. But I agree. I mean, I'm actually amazed when I go around town and people know, always are saying our town, our future, they know what it is or have heard of it. So it's a good calling card. We just got to make sure we use it for a good purpose, So yeah. Okay. Any new business? Anybody has any? Okay.
I just wanted to a quick update on the Historical Society.
Okay, great.
We're moving along. We will have a October open house on October 3rd. Last one went very well, and I think this next one will be even better as we expand with what we're doing. And we had elections. Chris Colazo is going to continue as president. I've taken over the role as curator, which I'm really excited about. Now that we've gone through the vault, we can really start to inventory. There's been a lot more donations coming into the Historical Society. I think now that we can reassure people that whatever they donate will be responsibly taken care of. We have forms that we fill out to acknowledge. And one was the Revolutionary War
uniform.
Yeah, that I think they put it in the town hall that was donated. It's absolutely beautiful, and people thought it was the real one. So we're definitely moving along and we've got a couple new members. So yeah, there's a lot of interest. It's funny because we've been going through these files and files, and I run across so many letters from people who don't live here anymore, and they write and say, this is like years ago. I saw that there's going to be an effort to work on the Ashford Academy. I'm so glad to hear this. I have so many memories from there. So that Ashford Academy, I think, holds a special place in many people's hearts, and it's good to see it. We just went over Friday to clean up. It actually wasn't too bad, except some birds had gotten in. It was quite the mess. But other things were in pretty good shape. So it's definitely a treasure.
Yeah.
October 3rd will be what you said, an open house at the academy?
Yeah, like we had last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And October 3rd. So
yeah, it's a neat place, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. I'm really curious too. There's supposed to be a Native American cemetery behind it, and that was looked into, but never. I guess they were going to bring LiDAR in to see. Do you know anything about that, Mike? But did they ever do that?
I don't know. You probably, and I know what LiDAR is, but I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done.
Yeah, it was years and years ago. So And we want to do the cemetery, but that's not public. We would have to get permission from everybody because some of those stones are in very bad shape.
Yeah.
And we are going to have someone come and teach us how to restore them. But of course, we can't do it there unless we have permission.
I mean, we use LiDAR, or ground penetrating radar is actually what we did for looking at a grave where there was some, actually in South Windsor, where there was a cemetery where there was some Native Americans and buried, and also then where we were kind of shoring up the front of it, where we put up a stone wall that we weren't impacting any grave sites. So it's a very effective tool to determine whether there's any burials or plots. So it does work. So, and has been used specifically for cemeteries, as I know. So
yeah, because it would be very old, that cemetery.
But they can still determine, the disturbance or the difference in the soil, whether there's been anybody buried or not. Going back, because the one was over probably 250 years old. I think the one, the 250, that was 200 years old that we were looking at. So anyhow, great. That's awesome.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, our next meeting, we're going to meet with Eastford. We've been invited to a talk there, and it's going to include a trip to Bucks for ice cream.
Oh, that's always right. I've always wanted to go there. Every time I go there, they close.
So
great, good. So glad that you found your calling again there.
Definitely.
Yes.
This Midwestern girl here.
Yeah, there you go. I know. Yep. Okay, so we don't have anybody from the public. Any other input for next agenda? We kind of covered.
I think for next agenda, obviously we're going to update this volunteer program. But also we're going to need to know what's happening with the booth at Family Day. Also the date of Family Day. I'd love to know that.
Yeah. It's June
So
already.
I think there's going to be booths in Knowlton Hall. And then I think there's going to be stuff across the street. And I'm not exactly sure whether it'd be like where the farmers market is or farther in, like on the big grassy area in front of the senior center. I'm not sure about that. And I think there was some talk about needing a state policeman to help people cross the street so we don't all get smashed by crazy drivers. But
anyway. Typically they have the Family Days on the green there, where the senior center is. That's
yeah. Is that the septic leaching field there?
Yeah.
Is it still called Family Day?
Well, what I'm hearing is that they're calling it Family Day, but I don't know what the ultimate name
Okay.
Okay, well maybe I'll try to follow up on that as well.
Maybe what we can do, Mike, let's think about this. It could take a long time, is to find some older living former volunteers. If we're going to have a display of some sort and we want it to be volunteers, we could maybe find some of those folks that are still around that were volunteering 40 years ago or more. But again, we can talk about that when we find out more about Volunteer Day and what is expected for us at our booth.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it, ladies. Great job you are all doing. And let's hope for a little bit of warmer weather. They say it's coming. Fingers crossed. You take care.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.